tunes. Have you ever wondered what it was like when God Himself spoke to humanity? Thousands of years ago, something extraordinary happened at the foot of this mountain that would change the world forever. This is the story of how God gave His people 10 special rules. Rules not meant to restrict them, but to protect them and show them how to live in freedom and peace.
God's rules for righteous living.
Moses had led the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt 3 months earlier. Through miraculous signs and wonders, God had freed His people and was leading them to a promised land.
Lord, You have brought us this far with Your mighty hand. What would You have us do now?
Moses, the people are restless. They wonder how long we will wander in this wilderness.
Tell them to prepare themselves. God has been speaking to me. He will give us direction soon.
Be patient, my people. The God who parted the Red Sea and rained bread from heaven has not abandoned us.
Remember His wonders. Remember His might. The God of our fathers is leading us right.
Mother, why does Moses go up the mountain alone so often?
He speaks with God, my son, just as our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did.
After their miraculous escape from Egypt, the Israelites had witnessed God's power and provision, but they needed more than freedom. They needed direction. They needed to know how to live as God's chosen people. One day, God called Moses to climb Mount Sinai.
Moses, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. I have chosen your people as my own. If you obey me fully and keep my covenant, you will be my treasured possession.
Lord, the people will do everything You have said. God has spoken. He calls us to be His special people, a kingdom of priests, a holy nation.
But what does that mean, Moses? How are we to live differently than other nations?
God will tell us. He has instructed me to prepare the people. In 3 days, He will speak to us from the mountain.
For 2 days, the people prepared themselves, washing their garments and setting boundaries around the mountain as God had commanded through Moses.
Father, will we see God?
No one can see God and live, my son, but we will hear His voice.
What if we don't follow His rules?
God's rules are not to harm us, but to help us live well together and to know Him better.
On the morning of the 3rd day, thunder roared and lightning flashed. A thick cloud covered the mountain, and a trumpet blast grew louder and louder.
I'm afraid. Perhaps we should go back.
Go back to what? Slavery in Egypt? No, this is the God who saved us.
Moses led the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because the Lord descended on it in fire.
Speak, Lord. Your people are listening.
I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them, or worship them.
One by one, God spoke the commandments, 10 essential rules for living in right relationship with Him and with each other.
You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male or female servant, his ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor.
What does this mean for us? How can we possibly keep all these commandments?
The voice of God is too terrifying. We will die if He continues to speak to us.
Moses, speak to us yourself and we will listen, but don't let God speak to us or we will die.
Do not be afraid. God has come to test you, so that the fear of God will be with you to keep you from sinning.
Father, why has God given us these rules? Are they to punish us?
No, my son. These commandments are a gift, a light for our path. Without them, we would be lost, not knowing how to live as God's people.
Moses approached the thick darkness where God was. There, God gave him more detailed instructions, laws about worship, property, justice, and compassion.
It has been many days. The people grow anxious without Moses.
We must be patient. Moses is receiving God's instructions.
Who knows what has happened to Moses? We need a God we can see who will go before us.
As days turned into weeks, the people's fear gave way to impatience. They began to forget the powerful voice they had heard and the promises they had made. In a moment of weakness, Aaron gave in to the people's demands. Using their gold jewelry, he fashioned a golden calf.
These are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt.
Go down, Moses. Your people have corrupted themselves. They have been quick to turn away from what I commanded them.
What have you done? How quickly you have turned away from the Lord who brought you out of Egypt with mighty signs and wonders.
Moses destroyed the idol and confronted his brother Aaron.
What did these people do to you that you led them into such great sin?
Do not be angry, my Lord. You know how prone to evil these people are. They said to me, "Make us gods who will go before us."
Whoever is for the Lord, come to me.
The sons of Levi rallied to Moses, and there was judgment in the camp that day for those who had rebelled against God.
Oh, what a great sin these people have committed. Yet now, please forgive their sin. But if not, then blot me out of the book you have written.
I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. Now go, lead the people to the place I spoke of.
In his mercy, God called Moses to bring 2 new stone tablets up the mountain.
I am making a covenant with you. Before all your people I will do wonders never before done in any nation in all the world.
When Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the covenant law in his hands, he was not aware that his face was radiant because he had spoken with the Lord.
These are the words the Lord has commanded us to follow. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up.
The 10 Commandments were not just rules for ancient Israel. They reveal God's character and show us how to live in relationship with Him and with each other. Jesus summarized the commandments this way. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them.
The commandments show us God's standard, but they also reveal our inability to keep them perfectly. This points us to our need for a Savior. Thousands of years after Moses received the law, Jesus Christ would come to fulfill the law perfectly and offer himself as the sacrifice for our failure to keep it.
Father, will we be able to keep all of God's commandments?
We will try our best, my son, but we will fail sometimes. That's why we need God's forgiveness and help each day.
Which of the 10 Commandments do you find most challenging to follow? How might your life be different if everyone followed these commandments? Take time to discuss with your family. How are the 10 Commandments relevant in your life today? How do they show God's love rather than just His rules? This week, choose one commandment to focus on. How can you live it out in a way that honors God and blesses those around you? The 10 Commandments remain a guiding light for humanity, not as a burden to weigh us down, but as a path that leads to life. For as the psalmist wrote, the law of the Lord is perfect, refreshing the soul. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, like, share, and subscribe for more biblical adventures. Stay blessed and see you in the next story.